Okay, we're up and running.
We are live.
Okay, we're live, and I'm gonna say it quietly this time. Okay. So today we have Michaela, Richard. Did Derek just disappear?
No, I'm still here, I
Oh,
think.
oh, right. Okay, there you go. There's Derek. We have Richard, Sarah, who doesn't mind being called Sarah, right? I didn't mess that up. All right, and then me, Anthony. And yeah, this is our second live reading. And let's see, the theme today is inspiration, but we're probably not going to be like too like Nazis about it. So you can kind of just do whatever you want. You asked me to talk, Sarah, so stop looking ashamed. You brought this on yourself. I'm going off the cuff here, all right? It's not always going to be a winner.
So who's
Uh,
first?
who did we say was first again? I forgot already. Richard, you're going first, right?
Going first.
Okay. So there isn't really much to do. It's the same format as last time. If you didn't watch last time, then you'll probably get it. We read poetry to you. We're good poets. All of us. We're awesome. So just listen. The end. Richard, you want to start?
All right. Yeah. Let's do this.
All right.
All right. So, the poet that I chose as my inspiration was John Ashbery, and I'm going to be reading a poem of his from his 1966 collection, Rivers and Mountains. The piece is entitled "Civilization and Its Discontents."
All right.
A people chained to Aurora, I alone disarming millions of facts of distributed light, helping myself with some big boxes up the steps, then turning to no neighborhood. The child's psalm slightly sung, in the hall rushing into the small room. Such fire, leading away from destruction. Somewhere in outer ether I glimpsed you coming at me. The solo barrier did it this time, guessing us staying true to be at the blue mark of the threshold, tired of planning it again and again, the cool boy distant and the soaked up afterthought like so much rain or roof. The miracle took you in beside him. Leaves rushed the window. There was clear water and the sound of a lock. Now I never see much anymore. The summers are much colder than they used to be in that other time when you and I were young. I miss the human truth of your smile, the half-hearted gaze of your palms, and all things together, but there is no comic rain, only the facts you put to me. You must not then be very surprised if I am alone. It is all for you, the night and the stars and the way we used to be. There is no longer any use in working on the incredible principle of day-long silence, the dark sunlight as only the grass is beginning to know, the wreath of the North Pole festoons for the late return, the shy pensioners agasp on the lamplit air. What is agreeable is to hold your hand, the gravel underfoot. The time is for coming close. Useless verbs shooting the other words far away. I had already swallowed the poison and could only gaze into the distance at my life like a saint with each day distinct. No heaviness in the upland pastures, nothing in the forest. Only life under the huge trees like a coat that has grown too big, moving far away, cutting swamps for men like lapdogs, holding its own, performing once again for you and for me. Yeah,
Okay.
I really like that one. It's got a lot of great imagery in there. Um, Now I am going to read one of my own. It's a new one. It's a part of a forthcoming manuscript that I am planning on at some point putting out. Um, I don't want to say this poem was directly inspired by the Ashbery piece that I just read, but in general, I think it was inspired a lot by his style. The piece is entitled "Threads of Cigarette Smoke." Because we drank the water, the idea of thirst railed against us with greater ferocity than we thought it capable of. In this atmosphere, uninvited guests are known to thrive. On the alternate side of the alternating current, the latest trends were coming to a head. I stumbled into a realization. I hadn't ever thought. What I had known as thinking was actually a sinking into the present moment, drowning in particulars and concrete imagery. So I bought a new suit of clothes. I proclaimed my status as a vigilante of the imagination. Public consciousness, startled by such a development this early in its pupal stage, shifted in its chrysalis and folded back into sleep. Just as folded as well, but on another level. I glimpsed you as you moved from pageant to pageant, askew, the prospect of the infinite glinting in your eyes, and this spectacle, combined with the blushing breeze across the shadow-lit landscape, revealed a new view of myself and the unique space I've come to occupy. I would put it into words if I were able, but I've only this set of shapeless sensations at my disposal. I never did comprehend their relation to the ensuing downward spiral, nor why, in such a context, a downward spiral would ensue. Darkness moves in ways that none of us fully grasp, and this is a part of the vast project to which we've committed ourselves. This is part of the appeal, I guess, the thrill of conjecture. As it stands, however, I remain pinioned to the fringes of that undertaking, drowsing in the dusky musk of summer, wondering what today would have been had I been bolder. That's the end of that one.
Nice.
Thank you. That's all I had.
Cool. All right. Oh, you just say those all yet?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. Alrighty. Up second is Michaela, right? That's what we decided on.
Hey guys. Yeah.
Joining us from.
The poet. Sorry, cut your words off.
Uh-oh.
Anthony. Yeah, I think that they're joining us from France.
All right. I'm gonna shut up.
Alright. The poet that I chose to read from is Richard II from his anthology Crush, and it's called The Torn Up Road. There is no way to make this story interesting. A pause, a road, the taste of gravel in the mouth. The little rocks dig into my skin like arrowheads, and then the sense of being smothered underneath a large sack of lentils, or potatoes, or of a boat at night slamming into the dock again, without navigation, without consideration, heedless of the planks of wood that are the dock, that make up the berth itself. The boy will not get up, and strangely, I am trying to spell both of our names at once. I want to tell you the story without having to confess anything, without having to say that I ran out into the street to prove something, that he didn't love me, that I wanted to be possessed, thrown over, that I wanted to have the wounds nailed shut. I want to tell you the story without having to be in it. Max in the wrong clothes, Max at the party, drunk again. Max in the kitchen, refrigerator light, his hands around the neck of a beer. Tell me we're dead and I'll love you even more. I'm surprised I say it with feeling. There's a thing in my stomach about this. A simple thing. The last rung. Can you see them there, by the side of the road, not moving, not wrestling, making a circle out of the space between the circles? Can you see them, pressed into the gravel, pressed into the dirt, pressing against each other in an effort to make the minutes stop, to slow them down? Headlights shining in all directions, night spilling over them like gasoline, in all directions, in the dark blue, over everything, and them holding their breath. There is no way to make the story interesting. I want to tell you this story without having to say that I ran out into the street to prove something, that he chased after me and threw me into the gravel. He knew it wasn't going to be okay, and he told me. It wasn't going to kiss me, but he covered my body with his body and held me down until I promised not to run back out into the street again. But the minutes don't stop. The prayer of going nowhere, going nowhere. The shoulder blots out the stars, but the minutes don't. My body with his body, but the minutes don't stop. The smell of him mixed with asphalt, creosote, the weight of him pushing down against my breathing, don't stop. There on the ground, slipping through the minutes, trying to notch them, like taking the same picture over and over, the spaces in between sealed up. Not hard to make the record skip and change music, setting the melody on its forward course again, circling and recircling the center hole in the flat black disc. And words, little words, not really soothing, but soothing nonetheless. Words too small for any hope or promise. I thought that you might help me get to heaven in this road movie where we don't go anywhere. So I have feelings, so I have them for you. So I didn't think you'd try to stop me. I can see myself up ahead in the distance, by the side of the road. I'm spitting up blood again. I'm spitting up blood. You stand outside the film and don't include yourself in this picture. Oh, Velocity, not all of us love the feeling as the car zooms off. And Velocity, not all of us are bracing ourselves for impact. So that's the conclusion of that one. And then the one of mine that I'm going to read is called Ghost House. And it's not necessarily a direct derivation of the first one, but it's the same sort of gritty reflection upon, it's sort of gritty retrospect, I guess. On the cusp of your beloved threshold I saw you, your sturdy ankles and tremulous steps into the derelict edifice, cobweb balustrade gleaming like ebony water under your bone-white hand, carpet of dust and crumpled photographs like your own sacred altar. I saw you kneeling in your hands amassed, the grave irretrievable. I watched you cradle your forlorn vignettes, a pillowcase with crude seams and thimble pricks of blood, an old sneaker with no laces, pastel candlesticks burned to wicker stubs. I followed your tread towards the broken mantle of our stony youth, where someone has burned shriveled letters, our voices risen in a gray plume of ash. I heard you speak to the kind-faced phantoms, seated at your kitchen table. Their gentle answers like smoke while you nod and understand, now and forever, that the arthritic floorboards and spider-lace walls are forsaken aches with no absolution. The ghosts and I watch sadly as you gather strips of wallpaper and upholstery, like a child picking wildflowers, tearing iridescent growth from Tara's groaning breast. None of us are going back. You tell me this over and over again while we gather our dead and leave our fingerprints on every window of this brick-and-mortar mausoleum. I hear you singing hymns and Christmas carols, and then the stark echo, the house key's last turn. Hear your holy words as you carve our names into the ceiling and drop breadcrumbs down the hall. So,
Yeah.
there. What's next?
What happened?
I thought you were the host. Me.
Oh, oh yeah. Did you have more or just the two? Are we doing two?
I said those two.
Okay. Oh yeah, are we doing two for everyone? I don't think we settled that.
Whatever everyone wants to do. I don't think.
Okay. All right. Whatever. You get good poetry. You can't complain about our format. That's our motto. Okay. So third up, we got Derek.
Okay.
Writer from Australia.
Hopefully this goes well. I thought I'd firstly read a poem from Leon Shan. That's his chapbook. If you can see it, I can't see it on my screen. He is an Australian poet who passed away in 2012. This particular poem is called Nasho. It goes for quite a long time. I think the reason why it's inspirational to me is not so much the way it's written, but kind of the context and some of the Australian notions, if that makes sense. Half the time when I say something on these live videos, I don't even know what I'm actually saying. Okay, I'll just start reading it. National Service chose for an act you really didn't want to play. Darwinian advice from your mates when the doc fumbled for understanded balls meant to A. Come again? Speak louder in a soundproof room. May excuse, but fake perforated eardrums weren't enough. You passed. A1. It was the end of the 50s, in between Korea and Vietnam. Graham Greene and the quiet American. Who were the Viet Minh? Squared bashed. Maralinga sounded okay. You'll wear sunnies and protective clothing on Christmas Island. You'll race crabs. In Cyprus, lunchboxes divided. Naffy jukeboxes played a one-eyed, one-horn flying purple people eater sure looks strange to me. Porridge vats, congealed jam sandwiches baked in Compton Bassett, fried chip bangos beat midnight hunger pangs. Imperial angst flew you into the unknown on a Hastings transport flight in civvies with a Kaiki haversack and a new passport. Government official, anonymous coach trimmer crossed out. Cook's tourmen, comrades and long-time servicewomen came and went are now simply names. Bugsy Newton, the presence, the sex goddess of the WRAF block. Colleen voices you a wet dream in a paper bag on the long journey into night. John Masefield was poet laureate. We sent messages in plain language. The Commodore is unwell today but feels better after his OXO and 5-unit codes to Nairobi. Aiden, Gorm, Mitch, Spitfire descendant returned to sender to join other Angries in Blighty by an RAF fifth-man plant. Unwashed, a bed space neighbour was cleansed and sent to Ceylon for further colonial improvement. It was homesickness, destiny, the classic paint on a Changi suicide bus happy for New World's downtown, Chinese taxi dancers, and why wouldn't they dance with you for free? Don't shit on your doorstep, and like Flynn, Kilroy was here on Fraser's Hill doing jungle training and fallout from the atomic bomb. LKY spout the knell of parting day. We drank Tiger and Tops for 50 cents and sang Oh, the elephant and the kangaroo. Letters from girlfriends in Blighty plague lovelorn airmen. Cindy, oh Cindy, write me a letter soon. Garrison room arrested for 2 years. Some spent their days on a route map, Changi via Bangkok, Istanbul, Gravesend. Beyond Suez telegraphed its hidden message. The tiger smiled. D-Mob said GSM Malaya with clasp. We packed our Noritake dinner sets in deep sea chests, bought yashikas and cannons and came home to somewhere else. End. I know I stopped it up at least 5 times. I can't read any of his poems without...
You're fine. It was good.
Cheers. Next poem I'll read is one of mine, so hopefully I won't embarrass myself. The themes are not based on it, but kind of the writing style. Leon Shan has a way of bouncing back and forth between one idea and another and not being very, what's the word? Chronological. And this kind of is based on that. It's called Dearest You. I've never been foolish enough to fall in love until the moment that I did, and when it happened, the counsel I received from a friend reminded me of a story I needn't be told about a young man who falls for the idea of a paramour rather than the person she actually is. Having consulted a sweet maiden maker and looking at you right now, I am glad to be held hostage by never-changing distance, and where your smile couldn't quite cut it before from the other side of the room, you being right next to me is all the pleasure I'll ever need. Why do I keep writing poems like this when I should be lying in bed? I'm still hungover from last night after ceaselessly kissing your lips. In vain, I struggle, tireless and resolute, to fathom words which could measure the happiness your being alive grants me. Where some men are addicted to cigarettes, I am addicted to you, and if you leave after all that I felt last night, your heart will be an accessory after the fact. inebriated or not. I long to touch you and realize if your body is real. Could my love keep you satisfied? Sadly, I'm unsure. I've your handprints across my arms from where you held on to me, but these impressions will fade, as I'm afraid you will. But if I hold you throughout the night, perhaps you will never retreat, and if I awake in the morning alone, I'll thank the gods for the well-spent memory. Beside you tonight I'll admit my true love, so you needn't rebuttal. You'll have no knowledge, and like my feelings, my shamefulness shall hide until the day you're about ready to lose me. You roll over in bed while swimming in dreams, and between breaths you ask, Nicholas, is it morning yet? And I announce with a passionate sigh, there's still many an hour to go. I run my hands through every strand of your hair, which is softer than any duvet. I could hardly imagine a more luscious sight than the expression you keep when you dream. Unlike I, a face-painted mannequin still hung up on the night before, when I internally urged you to please bury me in selflessness for longevity's sake, and I agreed to do the same for you. You pressed an ice cube to my skin and watched as water accumulated across my chest. The chill touched every part of my life, and you hurt me just a little. Every time our flesh united as one with a touch of a kiss or a hand, I knew I could offer to you a circular heirloom and have it placed like a crown on your finger. Perhaps we are parallels destined for symmetry, and in the moments my lips were married to yours I could agree with the sentiment. But if the same thoughts cannot speak for the two of us, you should strike me like lightning with honesty. I shall not be perturbed by your leaving if this is the choice that you choose, for regret is a non-existent word in the vernacular I have made my own. Just know, though we are strangers still, all that matters is I love you. Very different from the other one.
That's good. I like
If you wanted, I could read one more, which is very long. And
fuck it, we got nowhere to be.
Yeah.
okay, I have never read this before. If I can find
Right.
it.
Do we know who's making that noise?
The airplane noise?
Is that what it is?
I don't know.
More windows open. It might be
That or
that.
it's a ghost.
Oh, okay. Maybe
One
we should
moment.
start muting ours.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh no, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
I barely noticed it.
Oh, you didn't either? Okay.
Better.
I think we're good, right?
Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay.
Okay. I haven't even titled this one. It's just in part 1 and part 2. And I guess it's kind of similar to Leon Shan's in that his writing sometimes does touch upon what he perceives to be wrong things in society. So his notions on the war was that it was wrong to force people to go and fight. So this particular poem is kind of against some aspects of Australian society. And I think at least one of you might pick up on some of the ethnic themes I put in there, especially you, Holden. Maybe.
No, I'm really
Okay.
listening.
You're on the spot.
I know. You're not gonna ask me questions afterwards, are you?
No.
Okay, good.
Do you want me to?
No.
Okay, so part 1. There are days, so many in fact, when I don't even know what to make of me. I know I am Australian, 8th generation, in fact, because these words have touched my ears more times than I could count. As though a mantra, I am reminded of this, for I ought to be so proud, and even more so because of my ghostly white complexion. This alone identifies me as Caucasian, and I acknowledge how great a thing this is, because those who dress in bed sheets and shoot people whose skin is just a little bit darker say so again and again. Moreover, in my home country, if my eyes were not as wide or my skin not as white, I would be stopped in the street by security and asked for proof of citizenship, and when unable to oblige, I would be thrown into a jail cell and shipped off to Christmas Island, a purgatory where ironically Christmas seldom comes. For these reasons I am meant to be so glad of my privilege, of my Western heritage, of my first world nationality. I am supposed to be excited for all those who look like me in the society where I reside, who experience their first hangover when they are 11, their first abortion when they turn 13, their first pregnancy when they are 16, and their first divorce by the time they are 20. But how am I supposed to be congratulatory when my exterior will always bar me from you? My people in this hometown of mine have gone to amazing lengths to make you feel unwelcome. You cannot walk a single block without someone yelling chink, or yellow bitch, or slanty-eyed cunt, or go back to where you fucking came from. And when you correct their inappropriate slang, adding the word asshole for greater impact, they retaliate by taking out their switchblades and announcing, "You're fucking dead, bitch." But you shouldn't be surprised with such conduct by now. After all, this is the typical Australian greeting, reserved for people new in town. So I lost my place. Growing up in an alien community 100,000 miles from home where racism replaces the respect you are so often used to, I don't blame you for concluding that all white people are the same. My parents waited 20 years to have a child, and perhaps if I were conceived earlier, I would have found myself a paramour long before Pauline Hanson interjected into the conversation, "We risk being overrun by Asians." Instead, we've run the risk of having more politicians just like her, who claim we ought to cherish our Aussie pride. Why, may I ask? Because it's built on a legacy of intoxication, drug addiction, domestic abuses and king hit punches? I'm all for being Australian, but don't think for a second I'm proud of anything more than the continuous electricity, clean running water and second to none healthcare system. I might have mentioned something positive about the education industry a decade ago, but don't expect me to do so now. Now it's part 2. I'm one of those people who always doubt his own happiness. If I have a girlfriend, I wonder when she might leave me. If I have a job, I question how long it might be before I'm replaced with someone younger and wiser. If I've a rare DVD, I try to imagine when it might snap and reduce the images contained within to naught. Actually, I'll stop there. I think you see my point. Perhaps I expect this predetermined pain as a repercussion for the crimes I shall inherit. Though I've committed no atrocity upon a soul of different culture, the sins of my parents who gladly uphold the Australian tradition of vilifying all who are not... What?
Hey.
Sorry about that. Brian just joined.
Continue, Derek. Brian, you're muted.
Yeah, keep going, keep going.
I'll have to start from that line again, sorry. Though I've committed no atrocity upon a soul of different culture, the sins of my parents who gladly uphold the Australian tradition of vilifying all who are not white will burden these shoulders of mine, and I shall be held accountable. When walking hand in hand with an ethnic beauty I have received from older Chinese women, a generation or two older than myself, a look that clearly stated, "How dare you date a daughter of the Republic?" This is not paranoia, for previously the woman I called my own for a time noticed these expressions too, and even if every Asian man and woman knows Caucasians are all racist, what about the few that aren't? Instead of finding solace in this agony, all I feel is the bitterness of betrayal, and though society commands me to applaud the colour of my skin, sometimes I wish to tear it off just to show how akin to everyone else I am. Though having received the revelation previously of how fellow white Australians find my preferences laughable and strange, their attitude speaks volumes why I am attracted to a culture that is not mine to hold, or why my heart only ever beats for beautiful women who look nothing like myself. I imagine romancing a Caucasian woman would be like looking into a mirror. She would have eyes of a similar shape with hair reminiscent of my own. Her skin would be as equally blistered by the sun, and there would be striking resemblances in her physique as well. Though her personality would be her own, the thoughts that dwell within will be based upon a similar education to mine, growing older but not smarter in the same country we have become accustomed but not adjusted to over the last 20-something years. I guess to date a woman like that would be like coming home. Today, however, so many people, including myself, appreciate a love of travel. We do everything we can to leave our houses because we know there exist places more beautiful, compassionate, and blissful than what we could ever hope to imagine in our own residences. For me, coming home is the last thing I want to accomplish. I just want to go away. And in your eyes that are smaller than mine, in your hair that is darker than mine, in your skin that is more yellow than mine, in your voice with a stranger accent than mine, I can do just that. I don't care what other people think. You are beautiful to me, and that is all you should care about when walking side by side with me in the city. End. Finally.
It
I love that last one.
was definitely worth it.
Cheers, thank you.
Yeah, that was really good. So I see Brian has joined us. Can you hear us?
Hello, everybody.
Oops, I muted him again.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm just trying to figure out how to unmute.
Hello.
Oops. Oh,
What's
there we
up?
go. Hi, Brian.
Hi, how's everybody doing?
Good. It's still on Derek. Yeah.
Yeah, she's still stuck on
Oh, it
me.
is?
Yeah.
I guess you love looking at my hands first.
It's weird because it's Brian showing up on my
Hey,
screen.
why am I showing up as the main one now? This is weird.
Okay. So where do we want to insert Brian?
How about you go now, Brian?
Hey, yeah, you ready to go now?
Alright, how's this setting up? What's the format layout of this reading? This beautiful reading. Hello?
Oh,
Hello?
your video is like
This-
stuck on the screen.
Can you guys hear me?
Okay, how about Anthony goes next?
Yeah, I'm having technical difficulties.
Okay. Yeah, I can go. I thought you wanted to go second to last, Sarah.
Oh yeah, that's right. I guess I'll go.
Okay.
Actually, I have to find the poem.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I can go now if you're not ready.
Okay, can you do that? My screen's stuck on Brian. Is everyone else's stuck on Brian?
No, mine's stuck on yours.
Oh, it's stuck on
Can
me?
everybody hear me? Can everybody hear me? Am I still on mute?
We can hear you.
You can hear you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Anthony, you wanna go? Do you have your life together?
Alright, cool. Yeah, I can go. Oh, hey, look, Brian's moving now. Okay, I guess I can go now.
You guys still hear that noise?
What's up?
You guys still hear that noise?
A little clink noise?
What is it?
That's like a little clink every once in a while.
It's like it almost sounds like a saw.
Oh.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can go. I'm not sure where it's coming from.
What? Are you guys hearing that or?
Yeah, I heard that too. I thought that was somebody's lawnmower or something.
I thought it was my window, but no, it's not.
I have no idea.
I don't know. Okay. If you guys aren't hearing it, then I don't know.
Yeah? Okay. Is that settled?
I think it is.
Okay. Alright, let's do it. Okay, so I guess the first one I'm going to read, I'm going to be really stereotypical and read a Bukowski poem. Sorry, everyone. But I guess there's a little bit of backstory. I wrote a new poem yesterday. Basically what I did was I walked down to the beach It was about 3 miles, which was like an hour walk maybe. And then I just threw a bunch of books in a bag and a notebook, and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to read some stuff, and I'm going to spit out whatever comes to my head. So the book that I picked out, I realized that bringing like 6 books was a bad idea because it was really heavy, but I didn't think about that until my shoulders hurt. Uh, and I only ended up reading one of the 6 books anyway, so it was all dead weight. But so yeah, it's this one. I don't even know how to say it, so I'm just going to show it to you and avoid having to say it. So the one I read a few of the poems from here, and the one that I liked the most was "Sometimes It's Easier to Kill Somebody Else." That's what it's called. And so I'm going to go ahead and read that. I was never a very good suicide. I gave it a go now and then, but something always seemed to go wrong. The time I was living on Kingsley Drive and working for the post office, I decided to have another go at it. I swigged down a 6-pack and then prepared the place. I was living on the 3rd floor of an apartment house, and it was a fine sunny afternoon. And as an old suicide pro, I knew what to do. I taped the cracks around the door, jammed newspapers under the door, closed all the windows, turned on the oven and all the jets on the stove, and also started up the gas heater. I found the last beer in the refrigerator, cracked it, went to bed, sat up against the pillow, and worked at the beer, finished it. Then I stretched out, flat on my back, closed my eyes. The hissing sound of the unlit gas was not unpleasant. Waiting there, I had no regrets at leaving, although I did consider that death might be worse than life. Outside of that, there wasn't much thought, the main one being, this is very strange, there's no fear. I listened to the hissing, and then I passed out into another area. I could still hear the hissing, all about me, mostly inside of my head, my brain, my skull, whatever was this dark, steady blackness. It was a very non-threatening blackness. Then that left, and there was nothing. Then that left, and there was nothing. I have no idea how long that lasted, but at once I jackknifed, sat up in the bed. A steel band was fastened around my head just above the eyes. The steel ring ran around my head, squeezing hard. I reached up and tried to pull the ring away, then I started laughing. I got up, still laughing, opened the windows, stopped laughing, shut off the jets, the stove, everything. Sat back down upon the edge of my bed, had the worst headache of my life, and then once it vanished, just an easy pumping at the temples. So I sat and thought, maybe I'm now brain damaged. Well, that's all right. I decided upon a couple of 6-packs. Being clothed, all I had to do was put on my shoes, which I did, pull the tape and newspapers from the door, walked out and down the street to the liquor store. When I got back and was fitting my key into the lock, the old lady across the way opened her door and asked, "Listen, do you smell gas?" "Gas? No, I don't smell any gas." I went inside and opened a beer, sat on the couch and let the good, cool juices run down my throat. Then I noticed an old cigar in the ashtray. I stuck it into my mouth, picked up a lighter, and flicked it. There was an explosion. It made this small bang, and there was a round flame in front of my face. It was insanely hot, a vigorous circle of red, almost the size of a child's balloon. Then it vanished. I smelled burning hair, and my face was indecently hot. I picked up the can of beer, went into the bathroom, and looked into the mirror. My eyelashes had been burned almost completely off. A few twists of ravished hair remained, and I had no eyebrows at all. And my nose was not so red as purple. And one strand of twisted, burnt hair from my head was dangling into my face. And then I started laughing again. So yeah, that was the one that stuck out the most to me of all the ones that I read. But it's kind of a mood killer. But I liked it. So then, so anyway, after I finished reading, I decided to start writing before the sun went down. Let's see. And then I wrote this yesterday, so it's kind of rough. So, I'm using that just in case you hate it. That way I can use that excuse that it's rough. So This poem is called Electric Detox. Watching your vicarious self as pixels through a glass screen, you forget the simple joy of holding a clump of sand in your hand, feeling it trickle down the cracks in your fingers. Bukowski really shakes your insides when you're sipping rye through a flask, staring at the barrel end of 7,000 miles of empty ocean. He's barely a tremor when he's stewing on a dusty shelf next to your computer. Only when you head west to the Pacific Wall, past the Starbuckses and Burger Kings, past the last Wi-Fi hotspot, past the last house in civilization, does time have any visceral meaning. Only when you see the tide attack the earth, trade 1,000,000 days for a few inches of erosion, and never relent, does time mean anything. Only when you leave your big screen TV where explosions and sex are always minutes away can you feel the full force of it, or the full force of anything for that matter. You have to feel it on your skin. Step away from the screen. You can't let yourself fall in love with a voice Joaquin like I did once. You have to feel her on your skin. You have to write a poem in the dying sunlight and race it to the darkness, and head home earlier than you wanted to, until you resume scratching at your dust allergy hives and order a pizza that comes to you already made, and TV talking at you. None of it feels quite right anymore, but it never really did in the first place. So, yeah, that's what I came up with at the beach, after all. Thanks. And then, let's see. Oh, thanks. And, so yeah, then I have two more. The first one is another inspiration by somebody here. This is Sarah's poem that really inspired me. Yes, you. You're muted, but I see you laughing. This poem, let's see. The title is ridiculously long. I think you know which one I'm talking about. But it's called "You Brought a Bite to a Gun Show Reality. I'm ready. Put your hands up and don't even think of letting me down." And so I'm gonna go ahead and read that one right now. All right. Oh, reality, you're so ugly. You have leftover hopes and dreams stuck between your teeth. Your morning breath smells of ashes from all of the people you've set on fire. You smell of stale happiness. Your teeth are crooked, bones crooked. Homes ready to crumble at the touch of a dreamer's quaking ambition. Reality, I need you to leave. I need you to dismiss yourself. I will not fight you. I need you gone now. I need you to breathe with ease. You're stuck in my throat and I can't cough you out, spit you up, vomit you, take the stars from the sky and place them in the eyes of the people cutting me off on the highway, the eyes of the hungry hearts wanting more bang for their luck. Reality, go fuck yourself. Reality, you are dirty, you are cheap. You use your charm to seduce us. You use your charm to refuse us, reduce us into tiny pieces of your mediocre equation. Reality, you walk hand in hand with death. Reality, you make deals with the devil. Reality, you've got ruthless pride, ruthless ties, ruthless drives. Take everything from me and leave me with nothing but tragedy. My hope is sunken, my eyes are bloodshot and dry, my eyelids are heavy, my limbs are heavy, my heart is heavy. Reality, don't fuck with me, reality. You will lose. One day, reality, I will have never had so much hatred, reality. You are a knot in my neck, pain in my ass, reality. One day, I will be the death of you, reality. This is now or never. Take it or leave it, reality. This is my final warning, reality. This is warranted, reality. This is war, this is war, this is war. But, so yeah, that one was by Sarah. And,
I think you read it better than I did.
what's that?
I think you read it better than I did.
But this one actually did directly inspire one of mine that I'm about to read. But I think what I really liked about it was, well, first of all, I guess I don't really have it in a book format, but it's all one block of text. Like there are no line breaks, no punctuation, no indentation, nothing like that. And so it was all kind of just this huge stream of consciousness. And it was just so raw and visceral that I really liked it. And also it kind of like touches on one of the themes that sort of one of the themes that I always have in my writing is fantasy versus reality, and that sort of like really touched on that in like such a great way. And plus, it's fucking really fun reading an angry poem. Like, you guys should try it. I mean, I guess you kind of already did and already have, but so you guys know what I'm talking about. But it's just so therapeutic reading an angry poem. But anyway, so this is the one that was directly inspired by it. So it's the exact same format, no punctuation. Let's see. All right, cool. This one is called Drunken Debates and Waterways. I'm a sucker for fireworks and Facebook notifications, libations, and lemon pepper chicken wings. Mr. Economist, get rid of those long-run graphs projecting broken scales and liver disease, and show me the short-run water weight and drunken debates about the best footballer around that devolve into passionate, half-joking promises of going gay for Ronaldo. Mr. Economist, let me have her this one time, please, this one slice of Italian cream cake, and save your calorie counting for someone less desperate. Mr. Economist, I know what you think about the two of us, that we're coiled and charged, sparking and soaring in the short run, and it doesn't take a physicist to predict the force of the fall we're headed for. But it's so nice playing with her up here on our pillowy little apex. And what about my utility right now, Mr. Economist? Do I toss it with the hair I'm tearing out fighting over her with you, Mr. Economist? Get those red long run numbers out of my face, you fucking smug, you fucking piece of you. Mr. Economist, forget it. It's time for lunch, Mr. Economist. Get me a chicken chop salad. God damn it, Mr. Economist. I can't stand it when you're right. So that was my poem that was inspired by that. But yeah. Cool. That's all I got. That's what's that?
You just like started a poem I wrote, and it was like weird, but like good weird.
What?
It was fucking awesome.
Thanks. All right. So, do we have Brian up next, or are you going to go?
Brian can be the finale. Also, my screen's been stuck on Brian this whole time. No one else was on Brian.
Weird.
Right?
No.
Okay, it's just my computer.
Wait, what's the format that's going on? Is it like you read somebody's you like, then you read yours as inspired from it?
You don't have to mute your microphone, but I have been just in case I make noise.
No.
Okay.
All right. So Sarah or Brian? Sarah. All right. Cool.
Me? Okay. So am I presenting to everyone?
What's that? Yeah, you're presenting to everyone. You're good.
Okay. Because my screen is still stuck on Brian. So Brian, I'm gonna watch you this whole time. This
I'm grateful.
I took a modern poetry class about this time last year, and the final, we had to either do research on a poet from the modern era, or memorize a poem from a poet from the modern era. So since I fucking hate doing research and anything that's remotely boring, I decided to memorize a poem by E.E. Cummings, who was one of my favorite poets, if you can't tell, at the times. At the time? What? Okay. What was okay, I'm not going to read a poem that was inspired by him, because if I did, it wouldn't really make sense, because it's more like a page poem of all the poems that he inspired. If I read them out loud, it just wouldn't make any sense. But this poem's probably not going to make much sense, but here we go. It's called My Sweet Old Etc. My sweet old etc. Aunt Lucy during the recent war could, and what is more, did tell you just what everybody was fighting for. My sister, Isabel, created hundreds and hundreds of socks, not to mention shirts, flea-proof ear warmers, etc., wristers, etc. My mother hoped that I would die, etc., but bravely, of course. My father used to become hoarse, talking about how it was a privilege, and if only he could, meanwhile, myself, etc., lay quietly in the deep mud, etc., dreaming, etc., of your smile, eyes, knees, and of your, etc. So that's by E. Cummings. I still have it in my head after a year.
Yeah,
Huh?
you'll probably have it until like the day you die.
Right? Probably.
Like your
I
death,
don't have a
your
gravestone.
deathbed, you'll be reciting E. Cummings.
Huh?
You'll probably be reciting E. Cummings on your deathbed.
Yeah. Everyone will be like, she's just not making any sense.
Or you could just have that poem on your tombstone.
What? Does anyone want to repeat what he said? Because it's not working for me.
I couldn't hear it. You sound like a bunch of pixels.
Yeah, I did too. You could put the poem in your tombstone. Can you hear
Yeah.
me?
There we go.
Okay.
You can see the form too, because the form is a lot crazier than the way that I read it. It was really, I actually memorized it in a bar, because I was at a bar instead of at school, and
That sounds like good options.
I was walking around just reciting E. Cummings to everyone at the bar, and they're all kind of just looking at me like, what the hell is this chick saying? But it worked. It worked.
I wish I was there.
I don't think you were 21 yet.
Yeah, like my
Okay.
Okay. Next poem. So I was gonna read a poem for Laura because she was gonna come, but then she didn't. Yeah. But I don't know if I should read this poem. Okay, so my biggest fear of reading other people's poetry is that I'm gonna pronounce something wrong, and it's like so big of a fear that I usually don't do it, and so today is really weird for me. We used to. Anthony, when we were reading at the Coffee Cartel, when we did a feature reading there last year, he read a poem by another pilot, which I thought was really cool. He read a poem by Brian. And I wanted to go up there and read another poem by another pilot, but I just kept thinking in my head, I'm going to fuck it up, so I didn't do it. But that's how I feel right now. So I'm not going to read a poem from here. So I'm going to read a poem from this book by Anis Mojgani. I actually asked Dad how to pronounce it before I started this reading, and I kind of already forgot. But he said to pronounce the J. And, huh?
All right. Yeah, I think you nailed it.
Oh, are you just saying that? So I stop rambling?
Yes.
This poem is called The Giant Golden Boy of Biology. It's a numbered poem. Okay, 1. I am in the desert building poems. They look like mobiles and taste of jet fuel. This great expanse of rock and star is the only place that can fit me. Sitting atop the plateaus at night, high above the earth, the flat rock, the only place bigger than my hands, I wrap myself in a large sheet of the sky to better examine the molecules moving through my body. 2. Hard to believe how small I once was. That there was another person I came out from. That my mother carried me inside her body. I came from something, from a certain size, just like everyone else. Except I kept growing. Mother says she still loves me, and she can still fit me in her heart, even if not her arms. 3. There are many stories about me. How I use pine trees as back scratchers and rivers for cups. Stories of how my footprints make canyons, how the ground beneath me rumbles when I snore. Of how my skin has so much shine. The moon becomes a quiet goose. If a cloud of birds flies past my mouth as I sleep, I sometimes accidentally breathe them in. There are flocks building castles inside my body. 4. One night on the plateau, I shouted my stories, held them like sharp dirt and bled. I watched the blood make a lake, and made a boat to place in the lake. I sailed it. The boat and I were theater. I sailed it. The lions came out to watch. I set the boat on fire for them to learn what this body can do. They clapped. They roared. They asked if I needed a ride. This was real. I sat on the back of one. He roared and raced like the wind. I felt a greater wind move against me. The lion's back was gold fur, so soft. I believe my mother loved me as much as I know she does. The inside of her is a planet made up of smaller planets. The inside of her is a kingdom made up of smaller kingdoms. Her children are all her kings. Her kings are made of smaller kings. Our bodies are kingly bodies, made up of billions of other kingly possibilities. My nephew is her smallest, greatest king of us all. He is a star burning in a paint can. I cannot put a lid on my love. All I can do is take these giant arms of mine like tree trunks, dip them into that star, and like paintbrushes, swing them across empty spaces to see what falls through the clouds. The end. This is one of my favorite books of all time because every poem is to that caliber of just incredible. He's been inspiring pretty much almost every poem I've written as of lately.
Do you have one in particular you're gonna read?
I'm gonna read. I think I'm gonna read. Should I read?
Yes.
Yeah.
I could read two if that.
Go for it.
Works.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna read them straight from Paper Plane Palace. This poem is called Hunger. In a room with windows facing west, catch the fog in your mason jar and close the lid real tight. Don't let the feeling escape you. When will you board shut the sun and release the pocket lint from your bones? I told you once you'd never be hungry. Reset the static in your eyes to play only when swing sets creak, trying to reach out their change to the uninterested sky. You will wilt here, trying to catch the light. And that's that poem. I have to find the other one. I think, what was it called? It was the last one I wrote. I forgot what it was called. La la la. This page is loading. So, Anthony, got any of that hilarious commentary?
No.
I found it, don't worry. This poem is called Creator. It is a number poem. 1. Do you remember when you were a fetus? I ask. No, you say. We leave it at that. 2. When the sand chips off from the rocks, we remember the pieces and how they come from something whole. The broken come together and become a haven for the seagulls and sand dollars. 3. They build castles in the sand. Why? I ask. The sky responds with rain. 4. When was the last time you built a mountain? I ask. You point a knowing finger to my heart. 5. I fall asleep on the shoreline and wake with unquenchable thirst. The end.
I need to ask more people if they remember when they were a fetus.
Yeah, right? Go-to question, icebreaker right there.
Yeah, right? I'm just going to a bar and just ask everyone.
Poetry in a bar, I can tell you now, it gets weird.
That sounds lovely.
So, Brian, are you ready?
Huh?
Are you ready?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready to read.
Alright, you're up, buddy.
Okay. Alright. I should apologize for being late in advance. I didn't mean to. Hold on. Oh, so I'm going to read T.S. Eliot from this big-ass book I had to read for class one day. It was a modern literature class, and it was one of the best fucking poems I've read. So, it's called The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock. I'm not going to read all of it since it's really fucking long. But basically what the whole poem is about just finding isolation and kind of seeing how the city alienates you. And I guess living in Los Angeles, I kind of have similar experiences, and that's why this poem resonated with me. So, The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock. Let us go then, you and I, when the evening is spread out against the sky. Like a patient table, let us go, through certain half-deserted streets, the muttering retreats, of restless nights in 1A cheap hotels and sawdust restaurants with oyster shells, streets full like a tedious argument, lead you to a overwhelming question. Oh, don't ask it. What is it? Let us go and make a visit. In the room, the women come and go, talking of Michelangelo. The yellow fog that rubs its back upon the panes, the yellow smoke that rubs its muzzle on the window panes, licked its tongue into the corners of the evening, lingering upon the pools that stand in drains, let fall upon its back the soot that falls from chimneys, slipped by the terrace, made a sudden seep. and seeing that it was a soft October night, curled once about the house and fell asleep. So that's an excerpt from the poem. I'm going to read some of my stuff from Cityscapes. So again, it deals with the whole theme of like living in the city and finally being alienated by it. And of course, I did this purposely to promote, so purchase it.
Yeah, promotion.
I need to find myself. Oh, sir, remember when you signed my name?
I guess while you're
I
doing
was wrong.
that, I should mention that
How-
everyone here is in that book. So, yeah.
Oh, shit, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to read Blue Street. Feels of loneliness, painted in Picasso tears, guided by yellow lights, engulfed in shadows. The city is an empty body. I'm the parasite, walking through its gray ribcage. In these outskirts, I am nobody, only two brown appreciative eyes, reflecting passing cars, knowing nothing but the wide boulevard. It's not like this. They are the streets of gold. These are tar-back rubbish. I find hope here. I find silence here. Silence that I desperately need. Thanks. And then I'm going to read Sweet Expression, which also Sweet Expression. Red shoes take the sad voice. Just a basic trooper. Streets of distant tears on the cracks where weeds grow. Red suede shoes take the sad boy to the alleys and corners behind the hipster cafes. Steel factories blowing up Barbie dolls and Mickey Mouse sweatshirts. Purple smogs and underpaid mothers make the poison sun go round. Red suede shoes take the sad boy to the forest lawn where the dead flowers and dead humans wilt under grass, Earth's pubic hair. He stands over his father's corpse, talking and talking, a mostly one-sided dialogue. Red suede shoes take the street boy to win, away from the whitest walls and woods and knobs, safe from the suffocating pit, pubic hair. Where the experience is wrought, but wrought is real, and real is beautiful. Red suede shoes, accompanied by pain, curiosity, and soles of his feet, the once sad vanish in enlightenment. And he kisses a pair of shoes, because he loves them. He loves them. So now I'm going to transition and read a poem by Anne Sexton that inspires me a lot. It's a sex poem. It is called The Fury of Cocks, which I need to find. Okay. I'm having technical difficulties finding. Okay, here we go. The Fury of Cocks. There they are, drooping over the breakfast plates, angel-like, folding in their sad wing, animal sad, and only the night before they were playing the banjo. Once more the day's light comes with its immense sun, its smothered trucks, its engines of amputation. Whereas last night the cock knew its way home, as stiff as a hammer, battering in it withal, its awful power, that thither. Today it is tender, a small bird, as soft as a baby's hand. She is the house, he is the steeple. When they fuck they are God. When they break away they are God. When they snore they are God. In the morning they butter the toast. They don't say much, they are still God. All the cocks of the world are God, blooming, blooming, blooming into the sweet blood of woman. And that is my favorite fucking poem by Anne Sexton. Yeah. I don't know if I have anything that kind of relates to it. Let me check Paper Plane Pilots. But yeah, anyway.
All right.
I feel like most of your poems relate to sex.
Okay, I'm on the second one.
Lately.
That's true. And I read this like before I had sex, so reading it now it's crazy. I don't know. But anyway. Okay, I have one. This one's called this one's called Oh God. I don't think it's my best poem, but it's one of the funnest to read, so I'm gonna read it anyway. Oh God. I found the Lord, yes I did, yes I did. Inside of a green Civic, yes, yes, the strangest of places. The voice of authority smacked my eardrums, touched my thighs, grabbed my palms. So soft, God said. So fucking soft for a guy. God is real. The skin of my neck, pierced, red, bitten by the Holy One. The flesh torn inside, burns and burns. Oh, God licked the burns, healed the bruised pigment, for the Lord is the real doctor. God is good. The out-of-body experience, the holy hands feeling the back of my neck. I testify the Creator is real. For God pulled me by the shirt, called me a handsome motherfucker, pecked my lips and bit them, to remind me that God is love, but also authority. I am the instrument, a tool of the divine. God is love. The Lord proved well, and I climaxed, with visions of Armageddon and sounds of brass horns, angels, operatic fat women, zombies from the ground, too red for my eyes not to burn and cry. I left the Civic, gave God a rose, my shirt collar ruffled, my neck red and pumping, as I saw the Holy Spirit drive off, and I testify it was God. Who else could make a savage boy feel so down in love? God is real, God is good, God is love, and God went down on me that night. There we go. Thank you.
I think the best part about that was watching everyone's reactions out of the corner of my eye.
Yeah, okay, because when I was reading, you know how it's on mute? I don't know if you guys can hear me or not, but when I saw the reactions, I was like, okay, it's working out. So that was cool.
That is a fucking finale.
Right?
Yeah. Alright.
You killed me, Brian.
What's
Thank
that?
You killed me.
Nice. Alright, so do we have anything else to do before we dismiss? It's been about
I
an
feel
hour.
like if we announce anything now, some people might not have even watched the video all the way through.
Oh, shit.
What's
Well, is
that?
this going to be posted on YouTube?
Yeah.
On YouTube.
Oh, yeah, because I missed, like, half of everybody's readings, and I'm sad, because, like, I want to hear everybody.
Yeah, you can go back. It'll be on YouTube, and
Alright.
we'll post it and stuff, just like last time.
Yep.
Cool.
So yeah, lots of good poetry.
Yeah, if you guys want to send me the poets that you read, I'll post it. I'll post the poem, and then the poet that you read.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool. So,
Well,
do you
we
want
go-
to take me off of presenting to everyone?
Wait, Brian's
Do you
still
want to take
presenting.
me? Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So that way we can all be talking, and it's not just my head.
It's just he's been presenting this whole time for me because it's broken. So I didn't realize he was still.
Alright, cool. There we go. Less pressure.
Alright. Cool. Anything else, or are we meeting adjourned?
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone. Richard,
And thanks,
Kayla,
everybody. You guys
me.
are all fucking awesome. I like all your work.
Alright. I like your work too.
I like everyone's work.
Yay, everybody likes everyone.
Yay!
Yay.
Happy family.
Alright. Cool.
Oh,
What?
nothing. I can just message it later.
You sounded so excited. Say it.
Oh, I was just gonna tell Richard that I'm still working on your book.
Oh, cool.
Okay, we can probably not go live anymore.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I can do that. Bye.
Oh yeah. Bye everyone.
Hi guys.
Bye.